Hi everyone, I hope you well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin. Once again, thank you for support. Okay, big little CoinsKid crew. So, we put the low in last week. Does it mean that the bottom's in? Of course not. There's a few factors there that are saying it is. But what we do need to see is confirmation of that bottom being built right now by creating and holding this foundation that we created just there for Bitcoin. We need to create the foundation. That's what I'm trying to say to you. We put in that wick low last week. Like I said to you, it's going to be a nasty week, and it was. We got that capitulation down there. And right now we're sort of retracing to this low. If we hold it, build a base, fantastic. More confidence of the fact that that is your low going forward, okay? And one thing we've done here, like I've shown you so many times, is when you're coming down, you always target, if you lose swing highs, you've got to target swing lows. And if we move to the left right now, and I could kick myself, to be honest with you. So, we have bounced off a really, really nominal level of support just there for Bitcoin. Now, if you remember last year, I gave everyone that target, okay? And everyone was like trolling the videos saying, no chance and all that. But it did. It come down and it bounced off that swing low just there. It was a beautiful target, okay? As you were rolling here, you're coming down. We met the target and we start to come back upstairs impulsively. So as we've come down here, in my opinion, this is some kind of large ABC expanded flat correction, okay? Huge correction, A wave, B wave, and you're looking at a C leg right now. Now there's a lot of confidence that the low is in him because of indicators. You've got cycle low, you've got the stock to flow, you've got the rainbow chart, things like that, and then you've got the weekly def cross, the 20 crossing the 100. Boom, week later we low ball out, okay? Fantastic. Brilliant. You could say, okay, well, the low's in, let's send it into space. But we need to see confirmation of that. That's like I said to you, it's all right, the indicators, historical data is showing us that, but we need to see confirmation by holding this low in the retracement, start to come back up the stairs and break here impulsively to the upside. Now I'm going to show you where I could have given you the low, and I'm an idiot because it took me off the game. There's your swing low. Look at that. Okay, so swing high, swing low. This swing high here is previous resistance of the previous bull market just there. And I remember it created a whopping ascending triangle here on the daily time frame because I traded it. I remember like trading this volatility breakout. This is before I was making videos for you guys. This is the swing high, look, and this is swing low. Look at that support where we found support just there. Yeah, okay, look at that. So just there for Bitcoin, you was creating this beautiful ascending triangle just there. Let me show you. Look at that, and you're creating a series of high lows just there. Look at that. You coiled up on the previous swing high from the previous bull run, and then you melted out. And look at that. You never back tested that on the daily time frame. So that's something that's always on the radar, okay? Whenever you break resistance, you do always want to fall back to support. It's not 100%. I've back tested it, You don't always fall back, but it's on your radar at the time, or if ever you start to come down the correction, always think about that swing high that's not been back tested just there, and that's at 20k. That's previous all-time high. So you could say, okay, we've back tested that right now. It's took all this time from December 2020 when we broke it. It's taken us almost 2 years to actually back test it, but we've had that back test, held it, and we're doing okay. We're sort of consolidating on it right now for Bitcoin. Does it mean the low's in? That's what I'm trying to say to you. Absolutely not, okay? But we have nailed this low this week, last week, sorry, for Bitcoin. We have come down, we've got this capitulation candle, and we have bounced off that swing low there. So there's a bit of confidence that that is the low. But right now, if Bitcoin was to roll again, I'll show you another key level of support is this little wick just there. Okay, that's around about 16,186. And then if you get really nasty here, so there's a couple levels of support, and you can find them just by looking in the charts of previous data, okay, previous price action. And then there's another one which is this swing high just there. So there you two major levels of support for Bitcoin. So if, for example, this low is not the low of this correction, and this C leg has not found support on this swing low, just like this A leg found support on that swing low just there, and you've come down, you found support on the next swing low. If it isn't, you've got two areas here where you will see a bounce and potential low targets. You've got this area here, which is this wick. Do you see that? And then you've got this area here, which is a previous swing high. So there are two key levels of support going forward. One is at 16,186, and one is at 13,754 for Bitcoin. Will to get there? Who knows? But if you was to see a big flash crash, I would imagine, down there somewhere you're going to get a bounce on one of those levels of support. So what we need to see going forward right now, to confidence effect, okay, well, the low is in here for Bitcoin. We've bounced off that beautiful swing low. We've got, the stock to flow. We've got the Bitcoin super cycle. We've got the weekly capitulation candle from Dev Cross. We've got the Bitcoin rainbow chart. So there's a lot of sort of factors right now. We've got the RSI on the floor as well at historic levels. The monthly is the lowest it's ever been as well on the RSI. We're creating bullish divergences on the daily with the RSI as well. If it is the low, there is a bit of confluence. There's a lot of factors telling us it is a low. But like I said to you, zero guarantees. The only guarantee right now is building confirmation on this low by retracing to it, holding it, starting to come up, and start to come up the stairs impulsively from this low. So what we do need to see is zoom in on Bitcoin and see what we can see. Okay, so hopefully I'm hoping right now that the correction's in. I'm trying to find data for you to show you that the correction's in. There's a bit of confidence that last week we did sort of come down as expected, and right now I do see a lot of people sort of arguing, is the low in? Yes it is, no it isn't. So the low is around here somewhere, and usually when the low is in, you do start to see people start to get deeper and deeper and deeper with their sort of forecasts. Do you understand? It's the same when you're coming up. You start to see people getting more greedy and greedy and greedy, and like I said to you, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So for example, we're coming up here, falling back to support. We didn't hold it, so we've come down. But if we would have held support, we would have come back up. And it is that simple, okay? One thing we've got here is overextension from the weekly EMAs, which is always a good sign. You always see a slowdown or some kind of retracement into them EMAs to get the confirmation before you continue. Do you see that? So we've got really overextended here, really far away. The RSI is in the floor. So there's a lot of sort of confidence building up at the moment that potentially this low is actually in, okay? But if it isn't, and we do roll, that's an amazing level of support just there. And if we roll again, that's another amazing level of support down there at 14k for Bitcoin. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that going forward, okay? And I'd love to say to you, yep, the low's in, you're going to do something like that. But we need to see this foundation being built here for Bitcoin going forward, okay? So anyway, I'm going to show you on the hourly time frame. No, actually, I'm going to show you some Fibonacci targets, some forecasts right now. If it is a big if, okay, I would love to say to you, yeah, your low's in, but we need to see a retracement to this high, okay, because it's your high right now. So if the low is in, okay, and it is a big if, these are going to be your forecasts going forward. You've got a minimal target just there, around about $99,000. So what I'm going to do is drop a horizontal line in right now, okay, on these levels. And obviously for these to be targets, this has to be your low. And I'm not 100% that this is your low until we start to see confirmation of that. So we do definitely need to see some kind of impulsive moves and corrective moves to the upside here, which is what you do usually see, okay? So, these white lines become your targets and forecasts going forward for Bitcoin. And one other way you can get forecasts, aside from using Fibonacci here and the extensions, is something called Fib circles. And I've gone through this with you before. So what you do, you go from the top, okay, of your leg all the way back down to the bottom, and you can spread it out, and you can see that the minimal target is that, which is around about 200k, okay, that's a 2618, and the 3618, which has always been met here for Bitcoin, is all the way up there at around about, let's have a look at that, $400,000. So it sounds crazy, but they're fib targets, okay? So I'm just going to leave them in there for you. Now just here, okay, we could use Fibonacci as well here, back in the day for making videos for you. Just from there to there, and you could say, well, okay, well, you're going to come up and get all through these fib targets, and you're going to be looking at minimal targets up here, the 1618. Okay, so again, you can use fib circles. So let's drop a fib circle from this high all the way down to the low like that, and you can say, okay, well, look at that, Bitcoin absolutely got to 2618, and you almost, look at that, almost got to that 3618 just there at 72k before you got resistance and you rolled. So you look at it, if I was dropping them fib circles on for you down there in Fibonacci, you would have been saying the same thing you're saying here, no way Bitcoin's going to zero. But you're at historic levels here, you're actually in more poo here for Bitcoin than you were there, okay? So anything can happen for Bitcoin, okay? So anyway, no guarantees going forward, but it is what it is. Technical analysis, if this low holds right now, and all the confluence in fact is saying that this is the low last week, then this is your targets going forward, okay? And you've got major levels of resistance above you. One thing I definitely want to see here for Bitcoin going forward, okay, is not some kind of dead cat bounce, and this confirms it's some kind of A leg down. This is kind of B leg, and then you've got another C leg drop, and this was the top of the bull, and this is a multi-year bear market that Bitcoin's been in, or in basically. So you've got some kind of A leg, B leg, C leg, ABC zigzag right there for Bitcoin. And obviously the main level of resistance going forward is this 702 fib. Look at that, okay? 0702 sits at around about 46k just there. And obviously what you might see as well, because this is what you always see, is a rally into the 236 there, resistance start to come back, a rally into 0382, resistance start to come back, a rally into 050. That's a major level of resistance. This is where you retrace to here, okay, 050, and then you dumped, and that would be synonymous with a B leg resistance, basically. A leg, B leg resistance, 050, or the golden ratio, or the 702. These three levels here are major levels of resistance for a B leg or a dead cat bounce. At that point you come down. If you lose that low, that's your ABC, and Bitcoin at that point could go anywhere. And this monster ABC zigzag. I could show you the Fibonacci target actually looking at this. So let's say, for example, we are putting a dead cat bounce, and all the doomsayers say we are, in a bear market. You could say, okay, well, Bitcoin's going to put in this dead cat bounce A leg, B leg to 702, then you're going to roll again, and you're going to be in a minimal target down there, 1618, around about $9,775 round about there for Bitcoin. If this is the bear market, okay, and you've got this big A, B, C correction right now for Bitcoin. So yeah, something to think about, but obviously we're not doing it yet, but obviously this is your low right now. If we start to retrace and we come back to that low, that's really, really negative for Bitcoin going forward. Okay, so there are your key levels of resistance. I would anticipate some kind of beautiful rally into the 236. That's going to be major resistance right there going forward for Bitcoin, you know, in a few weeks to a month's time. That's key resistance going forward, 236. Okay, so I think you might be looking at some kind of impulse to that. So what we're going to do is zoom in on the hourly time frame and see what we can see for Bitcoin. I do feel like I'm just chatting and boring people. I do apologize. So what I'm doing right now, you can see this is quite bullish. Okay, this is quite bullish. Now just there, I was anticipating some Adam and Eve bottom. Do you see this? But you've actually got it just there. Look at this. It's an Adam and Eve bottom. Come down like that, rounded bottom, and then broke out, and you broke that resistance, fell back to its support. This is technically bullish. This is nice, and this is what you want to see off the low. We're looking for a 5-wave impulse move up with a 3-wave corrective move down. So let's take a look at this. You've potentially got just here 5 waves. Look at this. This is a 1 just there. This is a 2, this is a 3, this is a 4, and that's an ending 5. So that's beautiful. Okay, and you've not lost this 1 wave. I like to use the body wicks, the candles. Look at that. You've not lost, you've not come down below this 1 wave to invalidate this wave 4 correction, okay, for Bitcoin. So right here, this could be a 1. This could be a 1 that's in. And right now you're putting in some kind of ABC2. So let's take a look at this. Let me have a look at this. Zoom in. So that's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What we've got here. This is quite exciting if this holds, because this is some kind of rising wedge on the hourly time frame, okay? And what's happened is you've lost support just there. Let me show you the technical breakdown target, okay, for Bitcoin just there. So this is some kind of rising wedge. Look at this, okay? This is support and resistance, really simple. And you can see you tightening, tightening, tightening. Now the technical target of a rising wedge is the first point of contact where you form the wedge. So that's the technical target for me. So what we're going to do is drop the fibs on from there all the way to this bottom. And what you're doing right now, you've lost support of this rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern, okay? But you come up in 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is impulsive. This is nice. So what we need to see right now, this is a retracement to this low. This is called an ABC correction. This is an A, this is a potential B, and you're going to see some kind of C leg drop, and that would be your target down here on the 786, which is where you created this wedge, okay? Because rising wedges, you break out like this, okay? And then you usually fall back to where you form the wedge. So, for example, there are 2 levels here of support. There's a 050 at 19111, okay? And then you've got your 786. What I'm going to do is move this trend line just there. You've got your 786, pretty much where you form the wedge, all the way down there at 18212. So in a minute you're retracing. Now what we do need to see for Bitcoin here is some kind of ABC correction. This is an A leg down, a potential B leg, and then you're going to dump, and this is going to be some kind of ABC zigzag. Now these are your levels of support going forward for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does this and holds this, this is impulsive. This is nice. This could be a wave 1 correction, wave 1 impulsive move followed by a wave 2. So I would be looking to come down to this wedge where you formed it just there, okay? That would be at least a maximum target for me, all the way down there, ABC zigzag correction. You could be looking at some kind of dump from Bitcoin coming all the way down, around about 10%. Now if this retracement holds, okay, this could be a 1, this could be a 2, and you could be looking at a monster 3. So what I'm going to do is drop a fibs on here and look at this target. Look at this red line, okay? Like I said to you, you're looking at some kind of retracement to the 236 to get the party started. So what I'm looking at is something like this: a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, and that's impulsive, okay? And then again, it's a larger time frame. You start to zoom out, you put in a larger ABC correction, and everyone thinks you're in a bear market, but you've actually entered a bull market just there, okay? You've had your correction, and your bull market, your new impulsive move will start at this point. But we need to see impulsive moves and corrective moves. That's how it all works, okay? So, you know, good luck everybody. I wish everyone the most luck, but this could be quite nice, okay? Let's keep an eye on this. Obviously, this retracement that Bitcoin's going through right now, there's some kind of A leg, B leg. You're looking at a C leg drop, okay? If you come down and you retrace and you hold these key levels of support, you'll be able to drop your fibs on and give yourself your target. So let's say, for example, I'm right. You've got a large ABC zigzag correction here. Coming down there, everyone thinks, shit, you know, you're going to lose this low, but you retrace the 786, which is where you created the wedge. Like I said to you, you lose support of a rising wedge. You do usually come back down to where you created the wedge. It's the same with falling wedges. You do usually come back up to where you created the wedge as well. I've taught you that, okay? So if Bitcoin comes all the way down to there, and that's your next impulsive move, you can see the 2.272, which is a wave 3, is landing right on the 236. This is quite exciting, guys, because this could be a monster move from here off this low. If this comes in on the 786 18212, you could go long on Bybit, okay, with a tight stop loss on this low here, on this 1 fib. Okay, do you see that? Because if Bitcoin right now was to come down there and lose that, that would negate this third wave up. Do you understand? So that would be a stop loss down there on that 1 fib, 17567. You could open a long on this. It's wherever it traces to. Look, you're putting in some kind of B leg at the minute. If you start to come roll down here on this white line on the 786 at 18212, you could open a long and you could be looking at a monster 34% long opportunity to the 236, and that would be a very powerful third wave, which is where you usually see the third waves go beyond the 1618 and the 2 fib, and they do usually get to 2.272. There's a bit of confluence here that's at 236 as well, which is around about 245414. That could come quite quickly. Let's keep an eye on this. Obviously, to negate this right now, if Bitcoin starts to come up and breaks this 0 fib just there, because this is retracing at the moment, you've broken out, you're coming up, potentially roll like this in a big ABC zigzag correction, come down to this low, bolt out 34% long in front of you, and you know that everyone get really excited at that point, and the party could be back on here for Bitcoin. But again, nothing I say is financial advice, okay? I hope you enjoyed that update. I will try and dive in and show you more trade setups moving forward. But yeah, we're looking pretty tasty in this ABC correction. Hopefully, okay? And this is Trading 101. We need to see 5 waves up, 3 waves back, 5 waves up, 3 waves back, and that's how it all works, okay? Impulsive, corrective, impulsive, corrective. Take care, everyone. Back soon with another update on Bitcoin. Stay off system, stay tuned. And all this can be traded on Bybit. The link is in each and every single video description. Don't be a degen. Always use stop losses and don't over leverage. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.